evaluate the integral. The integral that we have is the arctangent of 4 times t times dt. So we're going to go ahead and use integration by parts. So by using integration by parts, we're going to let u equal the arctangent of 4t, and then dv is going to equal dt. So we need to find out what is the derivative of the arctangent of 4t. So let's find the derivative of the arctangent of 4t. So the derivative of the arctangent of just t would be 1 over 1 plus t squared. And so for our problem, this is the value of 1, and then we're squaring that. So if we want to find the arctangent of 4t, well, it's going to be the value of 4 over 1 plus 4t squared, which is going to equal 4 over 1 plus 16t squared. Now, since we're taking the derivative, we got to make sure we apply the dt. So therefore, there is the derivative of the arctangent of 4t. So let's go ahead and write that in here now. So du is going to equal 4 over 1 plus 16t squared dt. Okay, and so now if we want to find out what v is, well, the derivative of the antiderivative of dt, or 1 dt, is just going to be t. So now let's go ahead and rewrite the question, which is the arctangent of 4t, and using the formula for the integration by parts is u times v minus the integral of v du. So we know that u is the arctangent of 4t. We're multiplying it by v, which is t, minus v, which is t, times du, which is 4 over 1 plus 16t squared dt. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and reorder this. So we have t times the arctangent of 4t minus the integral of 4t over 1 plus 16t squared dt. Okay, so now what we need to do is we now need to integrate this here. Okay, so what we can do is the following, right? We can now then integrate this here. So we have the integral of 4t over 1 plus 16t squared dt. So if we want to reorganize this, we would have 1 over 1 plus 16t squared times 4t dt. Okay, so let's let u equal 1 plus 16t squared. Take the derivative of both sides, we get 32t dt. So divide both sides by 32, and we have 1 over 32 du, which is equal to t dt. So what that means is we need to factor out the 4. And so then we have 1 over u, and we know that t dt is going to be 1 over 32 du. Okay, so now what we're going to do is factor out the 1 over 32, so that's going to be 4 over 32, and then we want to integrate 1 over u du. Well, what happens when we want to take the integral of 1 over u du, or the antiderivative of 1 over u du? Well, that gives us the natural log. So let's go ahead and simplify this further. So we have 1/8 times the natural log of the absolute value of u plus c. And so therefore we end up getting 1/8 times the natural log of the absolute value of 1 plus 16t squared plus c. And so therefore, since this is squared, we can now write this as the following. 1/8 times the natural log of 1 plus 16t squared plus c. And now we're going to substitute that in for this here. So we know that we would get the following. We would have t times the arc tangent of 4t minus 1/8 times the natural log of parentheses 1 plus 16t squared plus c. And so therefore we're going to distribute the minus sign, so we end up getting t times the arc tangent of 4t minus 1/8 times the natural log of 1 plus 16t squared plus c. And therefore that is our solution.